Hi, and welcome to a Punk with Toys live on Monday night. Again, still trying to figure out a better name for that. I know, Matthew, I just wanted to keep you waiting. Since Matthew's been sitting here waiting for who knows how long. Um, just be honest, him and I may have been chatting back and forth with a few other people. You know, I go back and forth. So anyway, it's been a long week for a lot of people. I know I didn't pick up a lot. I think you guys saw the videos of what I picked up, which is being the Gridiron Studios, and I also picked up the Masterverse trap jaw right here because on my birthday, and like 20% off. I'm not 5% off, and it's like clearance, and it's just a really cool looking figure. Again, I think I'm going to be doing a video soon. At least I want to do a video about why should we buy some of these figures at like retail. Amazon and Target are going to clearance certain ones that we know about, like this. All the Mattel stuff seems to get clearanced. All the Marvel seems to get clearanced. Pretty much anything but G.I. Joe seems to get clearanced. Hey, Crash. Okay, I'm going to have to ask because I don't recognize the name. Are you new to the channel? Or is this your first time watching, first time just jumping in? Cornelius is here. Thank you. Masterverse is a line that I am scared to get involved in. There is no doubt about it. I almost wish I would have got into Masterverse rather than Origins. Just because, man, there's just so much. They just look really, really good. Let's see here. Steven is in the house. Thank you. G.I. Joe Movie Figs got discounted here in the UK. Wow. That is something that for some odd reason, Target and Walmart, like they just want to hold on to them. Maybe like they're relics. They want to see how long those figures can stay in. But it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And I'm going to say this. Even though that is not the greatest movie, I'm saying that very loosely, the figures are actually pretty good. Especially that Scarlet. Scarlet is so much better than the Wave 1 release that we got. So I absolutely love that. Sergeant Soldier. Wait, where is it? Sergeant Soldier is in the house. I believe he just found the channel. So there's a lot of new people in here. Look at this. Oh, so hey, I got everyone here. So let's just start right now. Hit that like button. Push this out. At the end of the last broadcast, we had 29 likes. So let's see if we can break that today. I definitely get to watch everything. I get to see how many people are liking or watching the videos afterwards. But I pulled a screenshot up because I wanted to see exactly how many likes we had at the end of the show. So that tells me we had at least 29 different viewers. Let's see here. Jer Bear. Again, are you new here collecting G.I. Joe Classified? So I guess I pay full price. You know what? I hear you there. Noom842 is in the house. All right. What's up, good friend? I was finally able to catch a live. Hey, you know what? Glad to have everyone here. Everything looks really good. Hey, listen, we got 14 people watching. So I want to ask a question because somebody asked me a question on one of my on one of the posts. And he was asking where to get good at Cobra and G.I. Joe sticker decals. So I know a lot of people get like water slides and stuff off eBay. And I said, hey, you know what? Check out the live stream. I will ask. So I'm going to ask quickly, like right at the beginning. So you guys can kind of post some stuff. I can say what they are, put them out there. So if he does chime into this, he doesn't have to watch the whole thing. If he doesn't want to hear me ramble. And Dr. Mindbender Creation, I believe I saw you last week for the first time. So good. Hey, looks like we're finally getting a good group of people. So awesome collection. Keep going and understand it's frustrating with the classified series line. I love the memories of growing up with the G.I. Joe American Heroes line. You know what? I got to say this. I don't really think collecting the line is all that difficult. we just gotta be patient, man. You just go to Big Bad Toys, Hasbro Pulse, man. Just put your orders in and just sit back and wait for them to come in. I try and say to everyone, I know we all want stuff right away, but in all honesty, unless you're doing reviews like I've been doing and trying to build a channel, and I've really built the whole channel from doing the reviews and everything. That's really where it started, and it's starting to branch out a little bit. Man, just wait, man. You don't need to have it right away. And again, when we looked at Amazon, there were so many people that saved money. GameStop too, so many classified figures that you get on sale. Okay, so here we go. Greg's in the house. So everyone seems to be saying Bad Mother Tattoo. So if you are chiming in, this was Jason Atrides. If I said your name wrong, I apologize, but I'm giving you a place to go. Everyone seems to be saying Bad Mother Tattoos. I see here, like, we got another. I know I saw him at least last week, so we get some more people. I like this. I like seeing some new people in here, especially when I don't have much to talk about today. So probably just gonna ramble. But hey, you know what? You guys are all here for it. And we got Vic in the house. Yeah, I get most of my classified stuff. Just stay informed and patient. It is like there's really nothing that we. Well, I can't say there's nothing because you get those. Sorry about that, moving stuff around here. I was gonna try and go live on Instagram before this to try and get people to come over here, but then I didn't want to do it. That's just of it. I didn't want to do it. Yeah. So anyway, again, been a crazy week. I know a lot of people had the week off or just had time off. A lot of people have been sick, and I don't know about you guys, but if anyone other than Arizona who seems to get bazooka, I haven't gotten any classified figures, and so we'll get into a few things here. But yeah, so obviously the pickups that I got were, like I said, the Masterverse. Right now, you can still get this one if you can find them. He was on clearance. But Target does have, for half off, they have Orko and the angry barbarian He-Man. They also got She-Ra. Who I think she's got an awful face off both of them. One looks like she's just a blank stare, and then the other one has the mask. And then Hordak is also 50% off. So again, I don't know why anyone is picking up Masterverse right away unless you're doing reviews or it's a figure you have to have. Even the Origins, I'm kind of waiting on certain ones. I definitely ordered Cobra Khan and Thunder Punch He-Man because Thunder Punch He-Man is the coolest He-Man. Other than this new one doesn't have caps. So it's sitting in my pile of loot, but I'm in no hurry to get it. You replaced all your gung-ho tats with proper ones from Bad Mother. How did you find a gung-ho? He was very difficult to come across. I think they were only putting one per case. So he was the chase in that Bat and Alley Viper box, you guys. I don't know how you guys were able to find it. Matt, I've never done Instagram Live. I see it. Like I said, I was just gonna do it for like maybe 5 minutes leading into this and then turn it off. But where I had everything, it was gonna be a pain to do. So I did mention the Masterverse, and then I got the Gridiron. I want to say thank you to all of you who have watched that video. I had over 1,000 views in under 2 days. I'm thinking I can look it up right here. This is always fun watching the host look at his phone. Yeah, so what is it? Let's see here. Yeah, it says, well, yeah, so in a day and a half, over 1,000 views. I appreciate it. I got to see exactly how much I made, and I realized that, hey, YouTube, they're not paying a lot for that. But either way, I'm taking a look at these at these. They do look extremely nice. Go watch the reviews. I will, I kind of compare them to the Mark II toys. Um, Brian from the Facebook page, he actually posted it on. Um, he posted it on the one of the Valaverse sites, and there was one guy that no one was like rude about it, but he did say, "Hey, you know what? I kind of disagree when he talked about the length of them with the Mark II toys." I'm not sure if I worded it wrong. To me, the Mark II toys seem like they're too big, but I'm not a gun aficionado, so I don't know. I know Mark II toys really tried hard to make everything in line. So let's see here. Crash with a super chat. Thank you very much. I got Trap Jaw, and I want Hordak. I just don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Hey, thank you. Hey, I have to say thank you for sending me the money that you saved here. I appreciate it. It will definitely go back into more toys if you can't figure that out, and to hopefully giving you guys some good content. But I appreciate any super chat that I get, any super thanks, all these other little things that YouTube gives you. I tell you what, I watch a lot of these YouTube channels and I see people giving the super chats and all that stuff, and I gotta say, the way the people that support the content creators that they like, it's awesome. It really is. So yeah, thank you very much, Crash. I appreciate it. Let's see here. What does Chaz have to say? Gridiron loadouts are awesome, but expensive. Well, yes, and that's why I didn't get any, because I wanted to get these in. And then I got this the Tavar that I threw on Dusty, because I think it just kind of looks better than the Famous that he has. Although the Famous, when you look it up, the G.I. Joe one that they gave, where's it at? It looks really, really good. I know people don't like this gun. They came with Dusty here. But man, go look it up online. It looks pretty identical. People absolutely hate what the G.I. Joe team does. There are some people, they just gotta hate the hate. I don't remember who it was. I don't know if he's in here. There was one guy that, he made a comment on the video, one of my videos about, hey, you know what, we're getting these, anything's better than these Nerf guns that, Hasbro's given us. And I said, hey, they're not giving us Nerf guns anymore, so you really can't complain about that. And he said, well, that's because we all complained about it, so they switched it. And it's like, man, like, you're just not happy. Like, they course corrected when we said we didn't like it, and then we're mad that, like, how dare you listen to us and give us what we like? I don't get it. So hey, Space Fold. I want to say you seem to be new. I just got the Valaverse Scarab and the stock strap. Ooh, you better not say that too loud. People get mad at you. Appreciate your gun vid for alternative options. You got to be very careful. I'm still going to say it. I know there's a YouTuber that's firing his guns at the ground to show you how tough they are. And listen, I watched the grenade launcher from the prototype pack fall by itself and snap. So they can be very brittle. You got to watch it, but it sucks. Do you know, Spacefold, if that was the version series 1, or was it the newer ones? Because the newer ones seem to be a little bit better. Arthur English, good evening to you also. Again, I know I've seen Arthur before, but I don't think I've seen him on the live chat before. So we got a lot of people in here. So this is good. I feel like I should have something to talk about rather than you guys listen to me ramble on. But I gotta say, yeah. So these Gridiron, I know people are talking about the loadouts, and that's really the way to go. What was really cool about doing this video was I did the video, and then maybe an hour after it came up, I get this message saying, yeah, I watched your video and I ordered like 3 loadouts, so if you want to review them, You know, it's up to you. I won't mention any names. But let's just say some of the stuff that I get to review, I don't actually own because guy we have to have intervention with. Palpatine is in the house. How are you doing there? I love seeing all these different people, and I'm gonna keep saying that. But all right, so it looks like I will probably be getting some loadouts to do some videos, some reviews. I mean, the way the Gridiron stuff blew up, I was really shocked. But I think that if you watch the video, I hope I gave everyone that was on the fence about the Gridiron stuff. I think most of the people bought the Valaverse because it's so cheap. And the Mark II toys, I know a lot of people haven't bought that. Again, for $20, you can order it from his site. Or now it's $16 or $17 on Big Bad Toys. So you can order it there, have it thrown in your pile of loot. And he's going to be having the C come up soon. So I don't mind scratching my head on the live. I don't know if you watched I don't know if anyone watched the Sunday Night Toy Haul where I started the video and I had to itch my head, and finally I just couldn't take it anymore. So anyway, I haven't seen much news really come up. I did see, where's it at here? So I did see that, I have all the stuff here. Okay, we will throw this in here. That Valaverse is going to be dropping. Guess it helps if I add it to the stream, right? That Valaverse is going to be adding their Desert Trooper early on. So let's just quickly talk about it, and we'll get my gripes right out of the way. As we know, these are almost all repaints. There are $3.50 until the females come out. And I'm fine with that. Hasbro reuses it, whether it be Legends for classified. Again, you are buying the same trooper, a different color. But my biggest gripe, and I mentioned this before, and I know a lot of people don't like it, is that you're going to get a trooper here. It's just going to cost, I think, $22. And then you're going to have to buy the pack or the gear loadout that goes with him. So essentially, you're going to spend $38 on a figure. And if you order it through him, you got to order, $8 shipping and handling, different things like that. Nice looking figure. If you want to add them to your Dusty, to your Desert Rat, I think he's going to go really nice with that. I guess maybe not Dusty. Dusty has he stands out a little bit more. So, but there's the Valaverse. That's the first sneak peek of what we're getting. I believe we're supposed to be getting some. I think he's supposed to be getting a bigger buck because every single Valaverse figure is the exact same height. I don't know if you knew that or not. They're all the exact same height, and really, it's almost just this figure right here. So, if he puts a figure like that, like this, all is one, I will buy it, but I doubt I will buy a loadout and the figure, which is just rebuying the same figure. So, yes, Space for he's tan guy now. It is. I wish it was Camel guy. They. Well, do you wish it was this Camel or just Camel in general? Because they did have the Delta Trooper, but even though I think the Delta Trooper is the best looking figure, I don't have them because I was not going to buy the loadout and a figure to go with it. I had an issue with that. I think they should be. I don't even need a window. I don't even need a window. Like, throw them in a windowless package, fully suited up for $32, and then offer, figures to do your customizing and your loadouts to do your customizing. But yeah. So let's see here. I'm curious about Valaverse's upcoming female weapons pack. There's no weapons pack for females. It's the exact same. He talked about it, and he said that I'm not making smaller weapons for the females because that doesn't make sense in the real world. Weapons are just going to be bigger on females. Now he's already talked about how his females will be a little bit bigger than Hasbro. I don't know how much bigger, but there are a lot of weapons that look extremely big in the female's hands. Um, so you have to pick and choose when you're going through, um, when you're picking and choosing when you go through that. Yeah, Greg, it's $20 with $8 shipping, unless you order through Big Bad Toys, or again if you have a big assortment that you're buying. That's why if you guys haven't figured out, Greg and I live close to each other. I obviously borrow a lot of his stuff for reviews. I still got The Last of Us Part 2 that he dropped off like 2 months ago. I'm not even sure if I'm going to do it. I might have to drop it back off. So like I'll ask him like, hey, can you grab this for me just to save on the shipping or whatever? Because again, I think the $8 shipping, I don't have a problem with it. But if I'm going to buy just that Delta pack, that Delta weapons pack, I don't really want to pay that much for it. I think that's kind of ridiculous. But I'm assuming that will eventually be at BBTS. And I'm assuming he's got to start working. You would think he's got to start working with Entertainment Earth now that Dorkside is gone. So, let's see here. Thousand Wolf. All right, so let's see here. I apologize. Have you been here in the live stream before? Because I don't technically remember your name, but there's a bunch of people that come through. But Vala did say he might get more signature characters. Wonder who it could be. Well, I know I believe he signed a contract with the. You're talking about like real people. I believe he signed a contract with a female fighter. I don't really care for real people. It doesn't do anything for me. You have Desert Rat, who the guy literally dresses up like on his YouTube, and I'm just like, come get off it. Like, all right, dude, we got it. You're a combat veteran, but I don't see every other combat veteran. I don't see articulated Chad, who's still in the military. As a matter of fact, when him and I were talking privately, he said, I don't ever show up with my uniform. I mean, I got it, dude. Like, we all get it. Like, Desert Rat, Analog Toys. Okay, we got it. Like, you and Bobby, you're close. You have your figure. And then you have Tim Kennedy. Like, that guy was excited he got a figure, but he hasn't done anything for Valaverse. I mean, it doesn't really matter. And I think the one head sculpt is good, but the yelling head sculpt, I understand why they did it. But it just doesn't jive with me. Although I did use it when he's like attacking bats and stuff. But yeah, and then Sergeant Slaughter. In my opinion, the Sergeant Slaughter was a big FU to Hasbro. He knew that Slaughter had already signed a contract to do a classified figure, to do other figures with G.I. Joe, with Hasbro, and I think that was a big FU. He was able to get it out quicker. It's a nice looking figure. But again, I don't need a Sergeant Slaughter. Personally, I'd rather have, I would think it'd be cool if he had Sergeant Slaughter's daughter, something like that, but I don't need those types of characters. And if you do, that's cool. Yes. Thousand Wolves. I want a Rambo figure. Hey, I pre-ordered that Rambo figure for like $80, so we'll see if I'm still gonna get it when the time comes. When there's something crazy, I have never sat through and watched a whole Rambo movie. I've probably seen the first few from beginning to end. Hell, I've never seen an Indiana Jones movie from beginning to end. They've just never really interested me. So you guys can start blasting me in the. I've never that was. I've never seen an Expendables movie at all. I just know that they have a bunch of a bunch of action heroes. We could get into a bunch of stuff that I've probably never seen, and I don't know why, because those movies are like right down my alley. Because I've seen Commando, and I've seen Commando more times than I can count. I've seen Cobra. Give me Cobra. Like, that's what I want. Like, Cobra is awesome. Now, if you guys haven't seen Cobra, that's all right. So I meant to mention this at the beginning. So we really should do like a Yes, they're doing like a drawing or like having you guys guess what time my dog will get up and decide to want to leave. He's finally starting to get up off the bed right now. He's been sitting there for hours doing nothing. Hey, listen. I am not putting down the movies. Like there are certain things that I will put down that I won't watch. I am not putting down the movies. I've just never sat down and watched them. Um, I've tried watching Harry Potter movies because my kids liked it. Those things were garbage. Um, hey, and if you like them, great. Let's see. Cornelius, the Sarge was Bobby's FU to Hasbro, as opposed to what Lawrence. um, I, I don't know what you mean. Like that was like I don't know if you heard his story about how he got the Steel Brigade, but someone at Hasbro had told them, "Hey, you know what? They didn't they didn't re-up the Steel Brigade name, so it's yours if you want it." And he went and did it. So I have a feeling that there's a good chance that Hasbro has gone back and started trademarking all those names that they let slide. That's why we have like Sergeant Stalker, and like Spirit Iron Knife. Like, isn't it that Spirit Iron Knife? They let this stuff lapse. Why? I don't know. I mean, again, I understand. I'm always the first one to say, I'm always the first one to say Hasbro is a $1 billion company. G.I. Joe is not a $1 billion brand. But how much does it take? How much does it cost to trademark some of this stuff? And I have a feeling with all these other people kind of popping up that they, all these other things popping up that they really, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to grab everything that they can. Yeah, it is an FU to Hasbro. I think that's him getting Sergeant Slaughter was a total FU to Hasbro. Bobby Stance, if you watched the earlier stuff, he was very, very anti Hasbro, and he's really calmed down. He's so very anti Dwight. He really hates Dwight. Really bad. Like, and if you watch some of the stuff, you can even see the disdain on his face. I think it's with Shartimus Prime. So anyway, that's enough. This is Valaverse. It's going to be coming. So yeah. So if you are interested, again, it just means there's going to be a lot more stuff coming. But I think we already knew that. Let's see here. What is this? It's why we have Heavy Duty, the Lost, the Roadblock. Did they really? I didn't know that. I did not know that. Okay, so if Valaverse does the Jeep, we'll get a Vamp at retail. I think we're gonna get a Vamp at. I don't think at retail. I think we're gonna. I believe. I really do think we're probably gonna get a Vamp if they don't do a HasLab. Not a brick and mortar. There's no. I do not believe a brick and mortar store is going to be willing to carry stuff that size. I mean, you go and look at Masters of the Universe stuff. It's just sitting there. No one will buy it till it goes on clearance. And what's great about the Motu Origins vehicles, they fit both the Masterverse 7-inch figures and the Origins figures. So if those things are sitting there for $30 till no one buys it, no one is buying a $100 Vamp. So I could see them throwing it in the fan channel. Yeah. So yeah, fan channel. Yes, this is where I think we might get it. But even then, if people don't buy it, and I have a feeling when Bobby comes out with this Jeep and when he prices it out, I fear. I fear that it's going to be way more expensive than what people think. He's already talked about how he's got to price it out. I think the HISS did a lot for him, where he was able to see how much the HISS costs. And then the Hell Charger came out, and people went, "Eh." You really think a vamp will be 50 to 70? Maybe 70 without a figure, but it's going to come with clutch. So you're looking at $100. And I will continue to, yeah, so the Fortnite boat was, I think, 70. But here's the thing about the Fortnite boat. It's very plain. It's very basic. I don't think you can do that with a vamp. With anything that's G.I. Joe, it's gotta have some detail to it. And we already know what the vamp does. Now we know they're coming out with another HasLab, but I don't think they're gonna go back to O-ring. I really don't. As much as I would like to see another O-ring, I'd like to see another HasLab in the low $200 range, because it was 90. Oddly enough, someone happened to drop that off at my house, and I had no real intention of wanting to review it. Then I saw how awesome it was, and then realized it was missing the front motor. But Hasbro wanted him to send it back, and then send him another one. Like, dude, the boat is really good. The boat is really good, but it doesn't have much detail to it. But it looks awesome. It's Cobra colors, and it sinks just like almost all the other O-ring boats from our childhood. So the other thing I had just seen this was, I know there's not a huge amount of Motu fans here. If Masterversal is still here, if you haven't checked out Masterversal, if you just scroll up Masterversal, he has got a pretty entertaining YouTube channel. Everything is in character. He is in character. It's definitely entertaining. So anyway, I did not buy this. This Mondo He-Man. So I just happened to see it before about an hour before Mad Hatter had done something. And it comes in two pieces, and the waist is separate. So it comes where it's split right at the waist, and it kind of notches in, and he can't, like, he's trying to go, like, he goes, I can't even pose it. The thing keeps falling apart. And this was $235. But I guess all the other Mondo stuff, I guess, looks really good. But they have like another He-Man, and then they have Anti-Eternia He-Man coming, and like he couldn't pose it or nothing. So if you were looking at this here, if you ordered this, you may want to go check out Mad Hatter Reviews. Or go check out Mad Hatter Reviews anyway. The guy is absolutely hilarious. He is to YouTube, he's pure comedy, just pure comedy. Especially his latest, his Flippies Awards, which is about flipping. So anyway, if anyone ordered this, again, I know there's not a huge Motu presence in here, but yeah, check it out. It's pretty funny because he's pretty nice about it, to be honest. I spent $235, and the figure was like in two. I wouldn't be too happy with it. And then as I was scrolling through here, again, it wasn't much news, at least nothing that I saw. I came across these, and I am not a horror fan. And these are by Trick or Treat Studios. And they're doing a Cobra Commando helmet and different things like that. So I happened to scroll across this, and I just, I see, 5 points of articulation, right? 2 packs. Well, so anytime you see Children of the Corn, I mean, we've seen it. It's a creepy ass movie. So click on this, 3.75, 5 points of articulation. And these are 2 packs by Trick or Treat Studios, who I have only heard of because of they're doing some G.I. Joe masks. And now look at the price, and I see, $24.99. Now, how is it Trick or Treat Studios, a company I don't really know? I mean, I know of now. Can give us a 2-pack for $25, but Super 7 can't even do it for 18. They had to raise them to 20. So other than that, as I mentioned, they are a ripoff with everything. But just something I had noticed. So if you guys are into horror, they seem to have a bunch of different horror Trick or Treat. I guess it kind of makes sense that they're not just doing Halloween stuff, but they're doing horror stuff. So anyway, that was something I just happened to scroll across. Again, there was not really too much that was going on. This little guy here, he looks like a mini version of Papa Shango. Isn't that what it is? Maybe the Boogeyman from WWF back in the day. I don't know. Just looking at him, I think maybe it was the Boogeyman. Not Papa Shango, but or was it God? The Godfather was someone. Come on, there's some wrestling fans in here. Anyway, that's we'll remove. What do you need, buddy? Here comes Roman. Want to come up here? Come here. Say hi to everyone. Come on. Say hi to everyone. All right. Give me 1 second. You want to go outside? All right. See that? I learned how to hit mute and stop cam, so I will be right back. All right. See? Now you guys don't have to see me walk around, and maybe eventually I'll get a little thing in there. So anyway, I know there was some talk here about the Hiss tank. I don't know how far I should scroll back. But I don't know. When it comes to vehicles, I'm really I'm skeptical about what they're going to give us. Hasbro, I think, is even though G.I. Joe is their line, their property, they are scared to death that it's going to fail. And even though, Emily, refers to it as the little brand that could, which kind of makes me laugh because they were the biggest brand in the 80s for a good amount of the 80s. But here we are, like, they're treating their own brand. It's all profit. They had to fight. She said that they fought to keep the figures down, to $25. I guess we've just come to the realization these aren't going to be 20 anymore. I know people are mad about it, but how everything's gone up. I walk into the grocery store and it's like $100 right off the bat, and that's Aldi's. And if you don't have an Aldi, believe me, way cheaper than anywhere else. So anyway, 24 people in here right now. Make sure you like the video. I tell you guys to go and share it, but who the hell are you going to share it to? That's why we're talking here, because all the toy fans are already here. So anyway, like it. I better have 24 likes. We got to hit 30 likes today, right? Well, as we get a little bit bigger, we're going to go up. Maybe we get some giveaways. I know I've mentioned that before. Maybe eventually I'll get rid of the StreamYard up here. You can actually see my logo. So anyway, I guess the content that I did say is I wanted to talk about, the size of your collection, and I'm very disappointed that no one mentioned that I put the wrong date, that I put 2022. Hasbro was very uncomfortable with G.I. Joe being a military theme. Do you really think that? I don't think that. I've heard that numerous times. I don't really think that. I don't think that at all. I know a lot of people have said that. Maybe there's something I don't know. I will plead ignorant. I have not seen anything. I know they are a PC company in many ways, but so is everyone right now. Everyone's worried about, someone getting a hold of them, just going after them. You know, the whole, I know the he, him, she, her thing really pissed people off. I think it's ridiculous. There's no reason to, because you're not referring to, you're referring to me by my name. Same with here, like, you know, like right here, you know, Matthew wouldn't be saying at, you know, him Gerber, if Gerber is a him. I'm assuming that it's a sausage fest in here. um, so I mean, I don't know. I don't think that they're worried. I mean, they refer to them as blasters. I know people hate saying the blaster thing. I think it's stupid. It's ridiculous. But I just think they got used to calling them blasters. So that's why they do it. They don't have a problem saying guns. I've argued with people when they said, you know, Hasbro won't do guns. And I'm like, there's a whole bunch of Marvel Legends with guns. It's not DC. DC is the one that put the kibosh on that. So, okay. So why aren't they paying to use military trademarks, and why aren't the G.I. Joe's military? I don't have an answer for you. I've heard so many different things that the U.S. Marines have an issue with always giving out that trademark. There are different things. You can't really see it. I can't see it because I don't have them open. But I asked Lenny, what's on the side here? So there's a patch that is specifically on Spirit's shoulder, and it is it's a tracker, and he said it's for the tracker, and it's actually on Spirit. So they've followed everything that was on it before. No, I agree. I agree that. Yeah, I agree. The pronoun thing is all Emily. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And again, I think it's stupid. You know, I don't have an issue with Emily. I know people hate her. I don't know how you can hate her, because look at the stuff they've given us. They've given us so much stuff. They are keeping G.I. Joe alive. But that's something that I don't care. And I don't understand the whole safe space thing. Like, no one's threatening you. I mean, there's no one threatening you. And not to mention, it's a bunch of middle-aged guys that are buying action figures. Anyway, so let's talk about the collection. That's what I kind of. So let's see here. So right here, I don't have a collection room there per se. I have a collection house. Not by plan, mind you, though, just because it tends to get in the way on you. And so again, that's kind of what I said about my place. It's I got a small townhouse, the G.I. Joe room. That was really all that I was doing when my ex and I broke up. I turned my oldest daughter, because she moved out, into the G.I. Joe room, and then everything kind of blew up from there. But the reason why I bring up the size of the collection is because I've seen a lot of people on my videos, and people that I've talked to on, you know, Facebook, different things like that, and they always say, like, you know, oh, I'm jealous of your collection. I wish my collection was that big. Oh, I just started. I understand, like, it doesn't matter how big your collection is. And I hope everyone would kind of agree with this, that it doesn't really matter how big your collection is. I have a very large collection of vintage G.I. Joe, because a lot of it was from my childhood. To be honest, if I didn't keep all my vintage stuff, I probably would not be so into the 1/18 scale. I probably would have scrapped it. But like I said, the aircraft carrier, I don't know if you guys know this or not. I may have mentioned it once or twice. That's my childhood aircraft carrier. And Cornelius, I told you to remind me to tell you the story about every kid that had the aircraft carrier, but it was at their grandmother's house. I can tell that in a second. But that's the reason why I have such a large O-ring collection. And because you have it, I guess it's like, hey, you know what, let's just continue to grow it, keep it growing. But I hear people, they talk about the different size, I'm jealous. And I don't think it really matters. I know Greg here. Greg has a huge collection. But as he said, I can't display it. I hate her. She admitted to knowing nothing about lore of the previous line, yet is in charge of marketing. Okay, so, and I mentioned this on one of the other live streams. A lot of people that are in charge get put in a position that they don't know. But here's the thing about Emily. She went in and she started doing research. Now, if you want to talk about the guy that did the G.I. Joe movies, who doesn't care about them, if you want to talk about the guy that does Transformer movies and just thinks, hey, I can make big robots do explosions, that's a problem. But Emily went in and she's learning about the product. And to me, that is someone doing their job. So, again, sidetrack because I can't keep anything. So, Cornelius, I do want to mention, I know Matthew was on there. So, I mentioned on the Full Force this morning about how I can't wait to get my Sky Striker. It has that Sky Striker. So, I can put on my childhood USS flag. I like to point that out. It's just kind of cool because growing up, everyone said, "Oh, you know what? Oh, I have the flag too, but it's at my grandma's house." Like everyone always said that, which always made me laugh. And I go, "Oh, I have it too. Want to go play with it?" Well, what's funny is I grew up, in Michigan here, and where I lived in these condos, there was courts. So I lived at the end of the court, at the back of the court. At the end of the court, there were these grandparents. And they actually had the USS flag for their grandson. And it was at their house because he didn't have room for it. And he was a little bit older. So I think he might have just been getting out of it. And I always make the joke about people saying, "Oh, yeah, I have the USS flag, but it's at my grandmother's house." And I'm like, you know what? There's one kid actually out there that's telling people that. And he's actually not lying. But I believe the other 99% of the kids that said, "I have the aircraft carrier, but it's at my grandmother's house." The same people that said, "I have a girlfriend, she lives in Canada." Maybe that's not it might not be as prevalent for people that don't live in Michigan or across the border. But yeah, that was a big one. I have a girlfriend, she lives in Canada. Okay. Sounds about right. So, but yeah. So like I said, getting to the the different sides of the collection. I don't think that really makes you a better collector or a worse collector. It's just how much you're willing to spend, how much you can spend. Someone could sit there and they could have 5 toys, but they love watching the YouTube stuff. I mean, even when I wasn't collecting, I've always told my kids, "Where's the first place you go when you walk into Target? Walk to the toy section." Why we're not buying anything? What if there's that one thing that is so hard to find? What if there's just that one thing and you are missing it and it's just there? Maybe you walk in and you're like, "That figure is worth $100. I got to buy it. It's $5. You never know. Yeah. So let's see here. Exactly, Lawrence. Not everybody is going to be a lifelong fan like Lenny. However, if someone new is coming to G.I. Joe, you them to be like, yeah, you want them to be like Emily. Yes. Again, I understand you really would want someone in marketing that knows the brand. That's ideally what you want. But how many brand people are there that you can grab that like, hey, they know the G.I. Joe brand? Like, she came in and everything that I had heard was she did a wonderful job when she was on Power Rangers. She must do a pretty good job because they stuck her on Dungeons and Dragons. Good luck with that. That movie's going to be out. Is that movie out yet? Has that thing crashed and burned yet? Like every other movie that they got. I think Beast Wars might be pretty good. And I don't even care about Beast Wars, but they did get Michael Bay away from it, and they did a good job with Bumblebee. Hey, listen. Sometimes there are just some people that rub you the wrong way. I'm sure she may be a great in person, but what I see, I don't like her personality or the way she presents herself on some of the lives. Okay, so there's a couple things that I will mention here. I do not like when people mention anything about people's weight, and I don't think that you are, because I know you. I say I know you pretty well. So I don't like when certain YouTubers, Elite Legend, like will totally go after. I mean, they're totally going after her weight, and I understand. But her presentation sometimes, it looks like she rolled out of bed. And to me, that is, I agree. That is something that is uncalled for. You are a professional. And I'm not talking about having different colored hair. I'm a punk rocker, man. Like, I've seen people with colored hair my whole life, so who cares? But sometimes it looks like she just rolled right out of bed. I mean, I think a lot of what she does is pretty cool, like getting getting everyone like the same like shirts and everything, or sweatshirts and stuff like that. Yes, Greg. I understand what you're saying, Greg. Like I said, I know you pretty well. I know you. Yeah, but no, I there are certain aspects of her that I can understand. I deal with people all day, so dealing with the PC police can be. Hold on 1 second, because guess who wants to come back into the live stream? I'll let you watch and walk away. I can still talk. You guys are chatting among yourselves anyway. Come on. It was a lot easier when my daughter's here, because he'll go and bother her for a little bit. Hi. You want to come? Oh, look, hey. Here, you want to talk into the mic? Yeah, see? Go on the bed. Go lay down. All right, buddy. I know you guys all love. You guys gotta all love Roman here. I think he's gonna be a staple for quite some time on these live streams. Let's see here. John has joined the punk. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Is it weird? I feel like you're my friend. I hope not, love. Listen. There was something that I had. God, I forget where it was. I think it was on YouTube, and someone was talking about, like when you watch these YouTubers, and it's not just YouTubers. I guess it's a lot of people, like sports radio hosts. I feel like I know like a lot of the sports radio hosts that I've never met, although I met a lot of them when I did stuff on a message board for one of the sports stations here. You really get to know people. I mean, you get to see my dog. I believe if you watch some of my videos, you've definitely seen my daughter, as Rad Brad. She did a little cameo there. If you're on my Instagram, you're gonna see. If you're actually on my YouTube, you've probably seen my daughter do some gymnastics or older stuff like that. So no, it's not weird at all. It might be weird if we're talking like 1999, but now it's like everything is just right at the tip of our fingers. And yeah, it's I like it. I like talking to you guys. I get to listen. I talk to Matthew all the time. I feel like I know the guy. Chaz the Guru I talk to all the time. Greg, I actually know. Palpatine I talk to. Yeah, so we have this common interest. Let's be honest. I'll mention again. I don't have a significant other, so I don't have that to deal with. Though I watch my kids' eyes, and their eyes start to roll. Like, all right, Dad, you talk about toys for a half hour, and it's like, but if I stop, you'll start talking about video games, and then I'll have to roll my eyes. All right, give me one more second here. All right. I decided to blow my nose. I still get a little bit of dribble for right now. I don't know why. I agree. I agree, John. I think I'm a pretty cool dude also. No, it's cool. Hey, and by the way, did you get in trouble with your wife? You got your figures um in 2023. Like she told you no more this year, so but you better start branching. You better start spreading them out through 2023 because you might be on thin ice right now. Let's see here. Hey, listen, I love compliments. You are one great guy with a huge personality, Lawrence. Always stay like that. Listen, I have been loud my whole life. I actually sometimes see my son, and I realize, like, wow, this is what people had to deal with me. Uh, yeah, it's yeah. This is me. Like, this is like again, this is truly like everything that you see is me. Like I've never drank in my life, never done drugs, nothing like that. Completely straight edge. And an old friend of mine once said to me, he goes, "It's a good thing we never started drinking." And I went, "Well, yeah, but why do you say that?" And he goes, "Because everything we've ever done, we just go full force." I didn't mean to use that, no pun intended. But you just go full into it. Like we'd be the most raging alcoholics just because we could be. And I went, I never looked at that. Because in all honesty, like, you know, skateboarding, like you guys have no idea. Like there is nothing other than my kids in this world that means more to me. I mean, not even that USS flag. And that thing means a lot to me because let's see, Insanity's Playground. Nice of you to join. Again, I'm going to ask, are you new? Because I don't seem to remember, but again, I keep getting so many new viewers. Look, we got 30 people in here right now. No, that I believe that I get a copyright strike if I say that in the full force voice. Yeah, I think you get copyright strike, and then then I'm gonna be hurting it. All right, so yeah, you've been watching for a couple months. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Ford is in the house. I talked to this guy. Hey, Lawrence and everyone. Anyone else purging, slimming down their other collections? I've been more into Joe's lately. You know what? I am starting to get rid of some of, well, I've posted a few on eBay. Some of my older, what, buddy? I know. It's so rough. I posted some of my O-ring stuff that I just want to get rid of. I started looking at it like, do I really need duplicates? Especially when they're starting to give us some other stuff. If anyone saw the G.I. Joe room, saw me step on the Stinger, that's because there's so much stuff in there. There are, I believe, 10 or 12 vehicles outside of that room that I just didn't have any room for it. So I went, you know what? I probably don't need this stuff. To probably get some money, just turn and you need to make some stuff, make some money so I can continue. So, no, but I think, Ford, this is something that I didn't fully understand. Like, why do you collect this? I was actually at a toy store today and I saw, Spirit in a bag, Flint in a bag. I almost bought the Flint because he was $15. Probably find him cheaper, and then put a loadout on him. Do something different with him. But I once asked one of the toy owners. I go, toy shop owners? I said, why do you have all these? Like, how do you get all these new figures that are still at Target and Walmart? And they're open. And he goes, you'd be surprised. People, they get them and who knows? They open them up, they keep them for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they turn around and they bring them back and sell them. And I'm thinking, well, if they're $20, $25 at Target, and you're selling them for 15, you can only be giving them maybe 5, 10 for each. And people must have a lot more extra money than I got. Palpatine, no, unfortunately, no. My collection is growing by the year. Yeah, I'll tell you what. There's a lot of stuff that I really got to start looking at. You know, to be honest, the military lines of GI Joe and Valaverse, and obviously the Motu stuff has really taken over. It's really everything that I collect right now. Ooh, 32 people watching right now. So I better have 32 likes. We're growing. Geek Dead Life. You better watch out. You and your 500 viewers. Uh, you know, we're gonna take you down. Me, myself. You can call me Dog Dad Life because he's always over here. um, and someone was just saying how like there was someone else in a live stream, and this might have not been a great day, but hey, again, I think most of you guys come in because, as I, some of you guys have mentioned here, does anyone else touch their face as much as I do on the live streams? I don't know. You start to notice these things. I think a lot of people, they join in, they know I'm going to ramble, but I'm trying to talk to you guys. Still trying to feel out how I want to do a full live stream. If we want to go with a co-host, I think eventually we'll definitely do have some guys come in just so I can bounce things off of. But again, I think you guys enjoy my personality when it comes to the who I am and when it comes to toys, and that's what we're all here for. And you know that you're going to hear rambling, and especially when I got new stuff to talk about or when there's news. But man, between Christmas and New Year's, there's just not that much. Do I have a New Year's resolution? Oh, you know what? I don't even try that. Honestly, no, because I've worked out my whole life. Now, as I've gotten older, it's been ups and downs, and I know that's always someone's New Year's resolution. More rambling. Man, listen, that's not a resolution. That's just something that's gonna happen. That's just something that's gonna happen. I am gonna ramble. Hey, listen, honest reviews from a true play. Listen, like I said, like all the stuff that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be honest. It may not be your opinion. You may think completely different. You may like Super 7. I'm sorry if you do. You may think it's a good price. It's not. But yeah, it's yeah, you're gonna get definitely a lot of rambling here. Okay, so let's see here. A couple questions here. Cornelius asked, Lawrence, what figures do you think we'll get based off the available tooling for classified? Well, I think we're going to get Bazooka and Rakondo pretty quickly. Before he goes away here, what I mean by that, before he scrolls up, Fight in Codenames just joined. The new Hasbro was kind of news. The new HasLab was kind of, well, there actually isn't a new HasLab. That was a rumor that I think they ran with too quickly. If you're talking about the Dragonfly. But yeah, so you put me on the spot. You did that when you gave me a super chat. I felt I wanted you gave me that super chat asking me like what figures do I think were gonna come. I mean, I felt so bad because I was like thrown on the spot. So I apologize. I definitely think Bazooka and Rakondo, we'll see. Because they said we're gonna have at least 100 figures by the end of the year. Which is crazy to think about, especially when it takes so long at first for us to get figures. I think we'll probably get a Cobra Trooper, like a regular Cobra Trooper, just because you gotta have a trooper to go with everyone else. Again, you in the spot. There's a lot of like I don't like. Okay, so you look at like Spirit here. I don't know what other shirt they can use for that. I'll tell you what, that might make a an O-ring Duke, because that kind of looks like what his shirt looked like before. So you might get like a custom, like not custom, but uh, a regular looking Duke compared to. They don't use the same mold, do they? No, because one has it folded up shirt and different things like that. I didn't realize I had Duke sitting right next to me. Blue here. Super 7 has good heads for customs. Are you talking about the reaction figures, or are you talking about the very, very expensive what's the line? Ultimates line? Super 7 is so hit or miss when it comes to what the stuff looks like. And unfortunately, they're so easy to say, hey, well, you know what? The plant made it bad, and what are we gonna do? You have to deal with it. It's like you go to the Dodge dealership and you buy, a nice Charger, and you're like, oh, that's how I want it. You order it, and then it comes, and it's nothing like what you wanted. And they go, hey, listen, it's Friday. They just didn't care. And you go, okay, well, I'm just going to deal with it. But that's what Brian Flynn, I think it's safe to say I'll never have Brian Flynn on my show. Not that I have anyone on my show, but I don't think he'll be coming on here. I think some of the stuff looks good, but I'll tell you what, I'm thinking about doing a video. Maybe I should do a live stream. Of course, my live streams will never stay on track now, do they? Because I think it was like 5 minutes, if that, talking about the size of people's collections and what it really means. I really just wanted to do the size of the thing and make it look like I was looking. But it's hard to keep up with all these different, trying to talk to you guys. But no, the Super 7, you got to watch Mad Hatter's, the flippies that he did, where he talked about this one goes out to like, it's something with Super 7 and how they decrease in value. I would not buy a Super 7 ever again at retail value, because they just drop in value like you wouldn't believe. You can go on Amazon and eBay and get all those turtles for like $35. Wow, it's just crazy. Let's see. Kind of scroll through some of these the chat here and just kind of see what so Greg jumped off because he's got to work at 3:00 in the morning. I mean, it's only 10 o'clock. He's a truck driver, so he's, he should be perfectly fine. Let's see here, strolling through here. Let's see who else. Okay, so yeah, looking forward to the upcoming classified Trouble Bubble with Televiper. Welcome more small vehicles in time. You know what? As long as they keep them in a good price range, I do not want to. I don't want to spend $80. Like as amazing as Serpentor looks and the Air Chariot is, and it's a wonderful sculpt. They better stay under 50. Televiper is not a figure I was like, I need the Televiper. He has a big head. I'm not a fan of the Televiper. Never was. I never understood the big sound gun of his. Although he always had like a big open thumb, so it was easy to put like big guns in his hand. Hold on. Let's see. Pure Flack Monkey. Thank you for. I don't remember seeing you, but I think I saw you. I think we may have talked. My wife said it doesn't. Is that talking to the size of the collection? Is that what we're talking about? I would like to see some small vehicles, but I don't know what people consider small vehicles. I think you get away with a Cobra Claw, the Ferret, maybe maybe an armadillo. But like I said, I have a 3D printed Skyhawk, and it's big. It's very large. And when you look back, the Hiss was really a medium sized vehicle. It's much smaller than a Mauler. And people were like, "We want a Mauler for a HasLab." I'm like, the thing's gonna be like this big. I mean, it'd be the size of almost the size of that Thunder tank. Yeah. See. Okay. Yeah. So you're right. Yeah. Does size matter? Yes. You know what? Listen, I was never married. My ex used to say the size didn't matter either till we split up, and then it was like, all right, well, I don't care. Made 2 kids with you. The Fang would okay. So the one reason why I like the idea of a Fang and a claw and even a trouble bubble is because you can hang them from the wall, and they definitely will save some space. That Hiss tank, which I have no idea where I'm going to put it, considering I have 2 3D printed Hiss tanks already, and then 2 of those, 2 of those mech Hisses. I don't know what to do. I have to make more shelves, and that whole corner, whole wall of mine. I guarantee you, next year when I do do the video of the wall, it's going to be overflowing. And so, yeah, I think going back to Ford, who mentioned about selling or getting rid of some of your collection, I think we might be seeing that. But like I said, I'm fully into the gargoyles. And I don't know if you've seen the gargoyle stuff, but there's a lot of gargoyle stuff coming out. And I can't wait. Giant wings, be damned. I don't care. I want the gargoyles. They look badass. But I do have, the like Marvel Legends. Yeah, this is the Hiss tank extravaganza. You know what, dude? It's gonna be there'll be so many Hiss tanks. I don't because the problem is again, you guys. Okay, so what Greg does is he's the one that's doing all this 3D printing. And when he doesn't want something, he gives it to me because he knows I'm like a crackhead. I can't say no. He's like, "You want this?" I'm like, "What am I getting?" Yes. What do they say? Buy it and then figure out where you're going to put it. Buy it and then figure out how you're going to pay for it. I mean, I'm not taking it with me when I go, right? But if he offered me another Hiss tank, I'd have to say no because I just don't have any room for it. I have 4 Sky Strikers in that GI Joe room. I have another Sky Striker sitting in the other room that I need a canopy for. That I have 3D printed black missiles and tail fins on it, which really pop. And then I got the HasLab one coming, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all this, but I gotta do photos of that HasLab, Sky Striker on the on my childhood USS flag. I don't know if I've told you guys that. What's funny? You guys have heard me mention the flag numerous times. You guys haven't even heard me get into that. I was one of the 93,173 people at WrestleMania 3 when Hulk Hogan picked up that big, mean, ugly giant and he slammed him to the ground. You guys haven't even got into that one yet. We ever get into wrestling talk? Oof. Yeah. When we go back, I remember all these little things in life. You know what? You guys don't care. Just gonna hit the mute really quick. We're all family here, right? Blowing my nose is no big deal. Let's see here. I edited all the intros and outros on the mass device, made it one long movie, much easier to watch. Okay. What was that for though? Did I miss something in here? Oh yeah, they could do a classified hang glider 2-pack for $50. Yes, and then a 6-inch figure that would last approximately 2 throws before the styrofoam shatters into 100 pieces. Oh man, don't just. Well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Dude, oh man, I can't get, dude. I can't. Like, I will be. Listen, Shawn Michaels is the greatest wrestler of all time. He is. He is the greatest wrestler of all time. And I liked Shawn Michaels before he was the showstopper. I liked The Rock before he was The Rock. Now, The Rock kind of, he keeps making stupid movies. But Hulk Hogan is, when I watch to this day, Andre rip the cross and the shirt off of Hulk Hogan and challenge him, I get goosebumps. Like when Rowdy Piper asks him, "Are you going to accept the challenge?" And he says, "Yes." And then, dude, I get chills. And then when I watch WrestleMania 3, I know it's coming. Like, I know it's coming. I know Hulk Hogan's a liar. I know he talks about his big back and everything, a big knot in his back. He slammed Andre before, just not televised. No one knew it back then. But when I see that, knowing that I was there, like me, my dad, my best friend growing up, Joe, like we were there at WrestleMania 3, in the Pontiac Silverdome, 93,173 people. Dude, I get goosebumps. Like I get goosebumps like watching him slam Andre, and then give the big leg drop. And to know that, like, it wouldn't have affected Andre at all. You know what? I was never a Rowdy Piper fan. I liked Piper's Pit, but I just never got into Rowdy Piper. Although, even though it's been a long, long time, I did love They Live. Still better than any Hulk Hogan movie. Not counting WrestleMania 3, or not WrestleMania, Rocky 3, because that wasn't a Hulk Hogan movie. That was a Sylvester Stallone movie. Okay, listen. I hate Goldberg. Goldberg was brought out because WCW didn't know what the hell they were doing, and they had a guy that they thought looked like Steve Austin. And then he couldn't talk, and then he couldn't wrestle. And as much as I hate Bret Hart, and I think Bret Hart thinks he's the best in his own mind, the fact that he ended Bret Hart's career, a guy that prided himself on not injuring people and then didn't care. All right, not a big fan of. So I would take Andre, even though Andre was just a big giant. Will R. I know I've not seen Will R. Piper was the greatest. You know what? You're allowed to have your opinion. I'm gonna disagree. I would take Paul Orndorff in a heartbeat over Piper. Even after he tore his bicep, and it was really weird. You ever see that? You ever see those videos? Paul Orndorff's arm after he tore his bicep, like it was like super small, because it was just so messed up. Andre wasn't okay. So okay. Since we're off topic, shocker, right? Punk with Toys is off topic. Does anyone listen to Bruce Pritchard? Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard. Amazing podcast, especially the earlier ones. He talks about Andre. Andre was such a damn bully. It would never have flown today. The fact that he hated other giants because that was his gimmick. Like, it wasn't Big John Studd's fault that he was big. Right? It wasn't Big John Studd's fault. It wasn't King Kong Bundy's fault that he was just tall and fat. But Andre hated having other big guys And some of the stuff that you just got to go. If you like wrestling, listen to something to wrestle with. Don't do it with kids around, because there's a lot of swearing. But the earlier stuff that they did was awesome. Just don't do it while we're live or while you're watching one of my videos. um, let's see. Perceived velocity. I've been to one WrestleMania. Went to the one in Seattle. Yeah, I've been to two. I went to WrestleMania 23. Because that was in, they came back 20 years later. It wasn't nearly the same. Wrestling, like live wrestling events they're really weird. Like, because there's no commentating. The only thing you hear is like the mat bouncing. You'll feel the flames and everything if you're close enough, but you don't hear anything. Just like I'm not a big fan of sporting events, because you're just kind of like, all right, you're not hearing anything and you can't really move anywhere. But yeah, we went to WrestleMania 23, where the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, who would have ever believed that, shaved Vince McMahon's head when he lost the match. But yeah, I went to we went to Halloween Havoc when the Giant got pushed off of Coble Hall into the Detroit River, which we laughed about because we know exactly what it looks like. And we're like, the river's not right next to it. It doesn't lean over into the river. But then he showed up later with the Yeti. We went to a SummerSlam. I want to say it was SummerSlam. And on the way there, I had this Ford Tempo, and we're just stuck in just bumper to bumper traffic, and it's just smoking. I mean, the car was so rigged together, and there's steam coming up, and the guys I'm with were like, dude, what are we going to do? I'm like, dude, we are making it there. So we got there. It was at the Palace in Auburn Hills, and met up with my dad, who didn't even sit by us for some reason. And he's like, all right, well, once we're done, we'll go to your grandmother's house because it's not far from here, and get a couple buckets of water so we can put it in your radiator, because that's what was blown. But I seem to have all these stories. My ex says I don't remember anything, but I remember the important stuff, like what G.I. Joe figures I have and different things like that. Dude, okay, so man, you can't even a keeper. Dude, we bought this thing and the engine blew. So my dad found a used engine, but it was an 84, and I believe they got an 86 engine, and maybe vice versa. No, yeah, it was an 86 engine, which was fuel injection, but my car wasn't. So somehow he had the mechanic rigged it to make it so that it wasn't fuel injected or something like that. It was super weird. The car just barely ran. I drove up to Michigan State to see my girlfriend at the time, and I had issues with the car. And I'm driving, and if you've ever been to Michigan, it's just, there's always construction. This is one of the funniest things. I will never forget this. So I'm driving, and there's smoke coming out the back of my car. But because there's construction, there's nowhere to pull over. I have like 3 miles to go. It's just 2 lanes. I can't get off. And I'm just driving. I'm like, oh my God, somebody get. And this car pulls up next to me, and this kid, probably my age, early 20s. And he's driving like this. He's got his knee up on the steering wheel, and he's playing the guitar. He looks over at me and goes, and then just keeps going. And in my paranoid state of like, this car is going to blow up on me, I started losing it. I just couldn't stop laughing. So I'm like, that is like the coolest thing ever. This kid didn't care if I died because he was playing his guitar. He's probably a total hippie. But it was absolutely awesome. Listen, I go down the road of the cars I've destroyed over the years, which I don't do anymore. Oddly enough, I drive all day for living. um, um, but yeah, how did we get on my Ford Tempo? We got all the way to wrestling, and again, I'm looking at the viewership. I'm trying to keep up with what you guys are talking about here. I seem like you guys don't seem to be too upset that I don't always stay on topic. So I definitely do appreciate that. Let's see here. What I'm just trying to read through some of these. It's hard to kind of read through um, all the different comments that people are giving and try and stay. And I watched some of the guys. I don't know if you watched TNI News. Again, I think it's pretty good. A matter of fact, did you see his tour? Damn, dude! Like, you guys packing a lot of stuff in there. But I watch him when he does his lives, and when he starts trying to read, it really becomes a lot of dead air. And I definitely try and keep the dead air off. Let's see here. It's true that there are no foreign cars on the streets in Detroit. No, I would say it used to be. I think you're saying, is it true? Not anymore. So many people. I'm going to try not to get myself in trouble because my dad worked for Dodge, and the rest of my family worked for Ford. It used to be like you either drove American, or you weren't in the industry at all. And I'll just say this: even when I was younger, I wouldn't let someone in with a foreign. Someone wanted to get in, you had a foreign car, you weren't getting in. You were going to sit there and wait. And more than likely, the person behind me wasn't going to let you in either. You're going to wait till the traffic completely broke. But it's. I mean, I know people don't. I mean, they talk about. It's still not that big. It's no longer that big of an industry, but it really is here, because it's not just like the big three that are building vehicles. It's all the auto parts suppliers. I have so many auto parts suppliers. For the business that I do, fixing their copies. It's still huge here. I don't understand why anyone here buys a foreign car, but they do. I mean, and again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, considering everything we buy is foreign made here, all the toys and everything. But we do have we actually do have a toy company here. I forget who. Someone had asked me about it. I can't think of who it is, but he had asked me about it. I don't think they have the infrastructure to do anything good. Let's all right. So let's get back to G.I. Joe play sets. What a waste! Hasbro hasn't released any. Again, I think it all comes down to that tooling and them wanting to get stuff out. And I really don't think that Hasbro intended for. I really don't think that they intended for G.I. Joe to be as strong as it is. They really thought that, hey, you know what? We're gonna base it after this video game. And so you have when you think about, so let's think about this. You want play sets. I get it. And I think it actually pretty cool. A matter of fact, when Greg finishes it, he's just finishing a 3D printed checkpoint alpha for someone in one of our local toy groups. What do you want, buddy? Do you need to go outside again? Hold on one second, guys. Sorry. That's what happens. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. My son doesn't realize how much the dog wants to go out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Okay, so I want to think of it like this. People want different play sets and different things like that. Well, that's why I have a son. I have a son to tend to him, but he's playing video games. Probably should be getting ready for bed because he's school tomorrow. So this is how you got to look at. This is how I think people need to look at the G.I. Joe brand right now. Is even though the classified is going on year 3, I believe, it's really year 2 in the. It's really year 2 in the fact that they wanted everything to be based off of that video game that failed. And they didn't give them a huge budget. But people wanted that stuff. I have no problem with Duke. Scarlet. I'm not a big fan of Cobra Commander's boots. And stuff like that. But I have no issues with the design. I have no issues with the design of the Cobra Troopers. Destro looks pretty much the same. Same with Snake Eyes. Major Blood looks awesome. I didn't have a problem with them changing some things. They should have stayed with that if that's what they wanted to do. They should have done 2 different lines. But when they did a complete 180 to what people wanted, now I like it better. I'm not going to lie. There was that point that it was like, you're scrapping everything, but you're still somehow making money. You're giving us characters. So now, after that first year, they went back. And the other thing that I always say is, when it comes to Hasbro, again, $1 billion company, G.I. Joe is not a $1 billion brand. And we're not getting these characters. I think we will now as production starts to wrap up again. Although we have Chinese New Year coming. But with the whole COVID thing starting to fade, when you have Star Wars and you have Marvel and you have other brands, guess what? Those brands, like, to get their lines, you promised, hey, we will have this out when your movie comes out. We will have this out when your TV show comes out. So like any good owner, they get paid last. So if G.I. Joe is your brand, it's coming out last. It's the one that's getting pushed to the back. And I think that's the reason why we didn't see a lot of G.I. Joe at the beginning. But now that it's just this juggernaut, now that someone up top said, wait a minute, we can make this one bat and people will buy 50 of them. Like, no lie. I mean, I've seen people have 30, 40 bats. And that's including their 20 alley vipers and their 50, Cobra Troopers. It's crazy. Yeah, you're right. They are shelf warming, but you've paid for this property. That's the thing. You've paid for this property, and Disney and Lucasfilm wants that out there. And one of the reasons why you are seeing, if you watch Jersey Madman, is that his name? He's on Instagram. The guy's just angry. He's hilarious, but he's angry. He hates the Star Wars team. Hates them. One of the reasons why I think you see so many repaints of the Star Wars molds is because you can't really reuse those molds. Like Valaverse, I say how much they use to reuse the mold. Well, you can do it. G.I. Joe, they reuse the molds because you throw stuff over. You can't reuse Han Solo. You can't reuse Luke Skywalker. You can get Stormtroopers, different things like that. But that's why you're getting this credit collection, which just looks the exact same, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But again, I think that's why you see so many of these things peg warming. How many Landos does one person need? But they have to get them out there, and someone's going to buy them. Target buys them, so they sit there, and will eventually go on clearance, or Amazon will buy them. Now, how they go back to Disney and not say, you can't keep doing this, but you're going to keep that property. Jersey Mad, I think it's Jersey Madman. They get so mad about it, but it's kind of like, listen, they got to do what they got to do. Now, here, Matthew here, the Star Wars team is shit. I really do tend to agree. They look unhappy. They look unhappy making toys. But I mentioned this before. The SDCC and San Diego Comic Con, I was watching the videos. The two girls, Emily, and I don't remember the other girl's name, the short girl. They looked like they were having fun when the other guys weren't around. But as soon as all of them were around, everyone looked like they were not having fun. And Patrick, again, he just seems clueless in the fact that they've had two HasLabs that have failed. Now, I believe that Riva lightsaber, I think that was something told by Lucasfilm. Hey, we want this. No matter what, they were going to push it. The Rancor, like from the beginning, why wouldn't you give a Rancor keeper? Like, why was that not part of it right off the bat? You listen to everyone, they said, we want Ula. No one, they said, we're not going to do it. We can't do it. Well, you were able to give what would have been a couple of revealing Marvel figures had they made the the Hell Charger, but that obviously did not come to fruition. That was just so there's so much stuff, and I think people just look at things. Sometimes I wonder what I'm still rambling about. Actually, sometimes I wonder if you guys still know what I'm rambling about. I actually still know what topic I'm on, believe it or not. But yeah, there's so much more that goes into it rather than just like, hey, this is what we want to see. And the one thing that is true, and I don't think collectors see it, is that you do need to give the same figure out again for new collectors coming into the line. And it becomes an issue because, yeah, sure. John, we kind of discussed this. She came in knowing nothing, but she's done her job to get to know it. And that's all you can ask of someone that's marketing it. Yeah, there's just, you do have to give the core characters. Now, I don't need 6 Snake Eyes in 2 years. But, I understand. I understand some reasons why there were so many Snake Eyes. Yes, yeah. John missed that whole conversation about Emily and, I see a lot of, you know what? It's always been a huge thing. It's always been. Okay, so we can get off topic here. I know. Yes. Well, yeah, she's very woke. But again, it doesn't mean she's not doing her job. Again, we I don't care about the she, her, he, him, that type of stuff. I don't know. But okay, so let's talk about a couple things. And I saw this again. Someone made a comment today in one of the Facebook groups about how someone said they want a classic Duke, and they're like, "Oh, we've already had 3 versions of Duke. We haven't had 3 versions of Duke. We've had 2. A slight repaint, but the same box, same number. It's not a second figure. It's a slight repaint. So same with Scarlet. So there've been 2 Scarlets as far as I'm concerned. But I want to get on the Snake Eyes. I mentioned this before. I think I posted it in forums about all the Snake Eyes. I'm going to disagree with you on this. I am going to disagree with you. Snake Eyes once was the he was the logo for Marvel Entertainment, for the Marvel Comics. It was Snake Eyes up there. The Snake Eyes movie bombed because they didn't promote it and they didn't do it properly. But I want to get to Snake Eyes really quick. Everyone talks about how many Snake Eyes there are, and I do think there are too many Snake Eyes. But the I can't keep going on with the pronouns. Pronouns were stupid. All right. but she's doing a good job, or else G.I. Joe wouldn't be doing nearly what it is. Um, okay. So here's Snake Eyes. They came out with 00 Snake Eyes. Not everyone was able to get them. Okay. So if they wouldn't have given you another Snake Eyes, people would have thrown a fit. How do we not have one of the main core characters? So they gave you, I think it was 03, 04 Snake Eyes. And then they did a slight repaint because I never even noticed the red dot. But people still had a hard time getting him. But people complained, right? Oh, it has 3 Snake Eyes. Well, really, it's only 2, but you couldn't get the 1. Very few people got the 00. And then they came out with the Commando Snake Eyes, which was a completely different Snake Eyes, and I really like it. I think that's a really good. It's just that mold, and he gave you Timber. So really, there's your 2 Snake Eyes. Then you give the movie one. I don't count that. I mean, yeah, it's a Snake Eyes, but no one liked it. Then they gave us the Fortnite. Well, it's not even. It doesn't even have a number on it. It's not classified. It's actually a Fortnite. And then when you really started getting into the repaints was that latest white Timber, that latest white Timber one, which I don't really need. And then you have the Commando, the more strict Commando one. So there's a lot of Snake Eyes, but people weren't able to get it. You still want a color changing Zartan? Well, you could get one. It wasn't the greatest. He have you seen people do the color changing like in the cold? If your hand touches it, it like instantly like warms up really quick. It's really it's crazy. I don't think they're gonna do it. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do another color changing Zartan. They really talked about that paint and I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So I think this will be the last we talk of the pronouns unless they do it again. I know people don't like it. I don't like it, but I didn't really care. I had more of an issue with her making people say their pronouns. That to me made no sense whatsoever. Like people came up to ask questions, they had to give their pronouns. Like, dude, I'm here to talk G.I. Joe. I don't care. But to me, it wasn't creating a safe environment because there's nothing being safe about. I was asking you a question about G.I. Joe. Like, that's all I want to know. Yeah, oh, no. Listen, I'm not saying he doesn't work. But if you put Zartan in the freezer, right, and then when you take him out, like the moment your thumb touches his face, it like instantly changes because your hand is so warm. He changes. Like there's no doubt about that, but he will transition back really quick when your hand or any part of a warm body touches him. So anyway. All right, guys, listen. Hey, John Palpatine, let's not get into a big fight here. Right? I like both of you guys. But yeah, I think Emily does a good job. I do. Put your hand. Right, I put my hands in the freezer. Yeah. So anyway, hold on. My dog wants back in. This is aggravating. I gotta get a doggy door. That would be aggravating too. Come in. Go up on the bed. Go up. No. Stay. Listen, you have all day. You have all day. Okay, he don't care. He doesn't care. Yeah, Cornelius. Yeah. You can post. Yeah, you can post a link. As long as it's not to like porn or anything. When we start getting naked HD in this chat, then I know I've made it. Then I know I have made it like other live streams. But yeah, feel free to post. The one thing that I don't like about the chat is it disappears shortly after when we get shortly after the live stream ends. So give me 1 second here because I had. Okay. My ex is texting me asking if I was watching the football game. Something happened. Oh yeah, good news, guys. Good news for you. The national championship game, which will be on a Monday. Yeah, you won't have to see me going nuts because fucking Michigan blew it, like a bunch of assholes. All right. Anyway, that was my rant for the game. If you guys were watching, Larry Holmes, thanks for joining in at the end here. I would love to see a live action series of G.I. Joe, of each major character's backstories. What do you think? All right, so listen, I think like many of us, but listen, when you drive all day, I mean, you have time to think, and I have thought about stuff like this so many times. I've said before, the reason why the Marvel Cinematic Universe worked was because when it came out, when the Avengers came out, they had already had the characters already had backstories. The Hulk already had a movie, even though it was a different actor, but the Hulk already had it. Thor had his movie. Iron Man had two, and Captain America had his. So when they did the Avengers, it was already there. You didn't have to explain, even like in the X-Men. And you know what? Yes, I think that having hold on, let me hold on. Yeah. Lots of things came in here. But yeah, I think doing individual movies would be great. I'll get in that 1 second. I want to say hi to Articulated Chad. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Again, I mentioned earlier, anyone that does super chat, super thanks, all that stuff, definitely appreciate it. Shows how much you guys enjoy the content. I love Articulated Chad. Talking to this guy, he knows his stuff when it comes to 1/18 scale. Although he does work with, I believe, rockets in the military. So if you bring up, you bring up 6-inch figures, you may want to watch it. Matthew, fuck you. I mean, what the hell is a horned frog? I'm not happy. You know what? That game was lost on that opening drive when Jim Harbaugh decided to outsmart a team that he was more talented than by doing that stupid trick play. I'm not saying that the Horned Frogs didn't deserve to win and that they weren't the better team, but they were not the more talented team, but they were clearly the better team. They deserved to win because they ran all over Michigan. But fuck you still. All right, I got to stop with the F-bombs. Anyway, so hold on. So a football player collapsed and had a heart attack. Do you happen to know what player it was? This was kind of crazy doing like a live stream on Monday. That explains why my ex, she knows I usually watch football and all that other stuff. Yeah, see, I work with heavy weapons and tow missiles. All right. So again, if you talk too much 6-inch figures on his live streams, you may just have one come flying at you. But like he says, hey, everyone's entitled to what they like. And he likes 1/18 scale and he knows his stuff and he does amazing custom stuff. And I think one day we maybe work together, do some sort of live stream. Actually, I meant to shoot him what is this? You're making me mad here. Come to Texas and learn what a horn. I don't. I've been to Texas. All right, that's where our training used to be in Dallas. I think it's Texas is a nice state, but I don't like the Horned Frogs. I listen. It pisses me off. All right, it pisses me off. Michigan should not have lost. But they did. And you know what? It wasn't at the end of the game that TCU deserved to win. That's all that I can say. That's all that I can say. It doesn't make me feel better that Ohio State lost because, frankly, I don't care. You know. Ooh, wow. So I'm a little confused. How the hell do you know what's going on if you are solely watching this live stream? Just messing with you. All right. Well, I guess I didn't listen to sports radio today because, well, we go back to the Horned Frog thing. Hey, listen. I liked the 118 scale. I would not have ordered a Haslab Sky Striker. I wouldn't continue to tell everyone about how I have not a USS flag, but my childhood USS flag. If I didn't like the 4-inch scale, and it is better for world building. There is no doubt about that. Because you're never going to get a flag in classified scale. I guess you could build one, but I'll tell you what, I don't have room for one. Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, my phone had buzzed and I saw that it was my ex, and figured she was probably texting me about something for one of the kids for school tomorrow, and one of them will tell them. Well, there's only one over there right now, so eventually she'll have to learn that Mondays I am busy. Not watching football, unfortunately. Although I received the flag for Christmas when and I did too. I think I told the story last week. I got 8 shipwrecks before I got the flag, and I had already had shipwreck. And then I went downstairs, and there it was. I actually went and I tried looking for the picture of it, and I don't know where it is. So did I do a top? So I did a top 10 figures for 2022, but not a top 10 classified figures, if that's what you're asking. So yeah, there is a video for the top 10 video or top 10 figures. Yeah, I did do that. Seems like everyone does that. And I get asked all the time. I think like stuff like that, it goes back to where John had asked, like, does it seem weird that like I kind of feel like I know you? I definitely enjoy it. So yeah, I did a top 10. If you want to like see it, go back, watch it. I guess it's pretty good. I'm proud of it. Cobra Commander is joining us here. A bunch of rich kids in here getting a flag for Christmas. I was not rich. I was spoiled, but I was not rich. Again, I lived in a condo. But I had it. And if that means I was called a rich kid, then so be it. I was a rich kid. It's kind of funny when you look back at it. It was only like $100. I don't know what that would be today. But even that back then, I mean, $100, as expensive as it was, would it have been that? So yeah, they should have done. Have you ever seen a flag? I think a lot of people that want the flag have not really seen how big it is, how hard it is to move around. I mean, it is like just taking it apart. I don't know if Articulated Chad is still here. He was telling me about, because he just moved and he had to take the flag, and he told me how him and his buddy were able to get it out and out through the window, and how they put it in the trailer to move it. It's yeah. The accident was in the Bills. Yeah. Well, so okay, so all right, so I'm sorry. I'm interested in what happened with the football player. Was it an accident, or did he just collapse, or what? I don't know. I guess I guess I don't need to ask you guys. I can just go back and look. Let's see here. Let's get rid of some of this stuff here. Let's see. Yes, Matthew agrees. It is massive. And again, it's not just 7.5 feet long. It's like 3 feet wide and 3 feet high. And I've added 6 inches. That's what she said. To it, so you can store stuff underneath it. Yes, I see. Oh, but the Resolute flag would be a new mold. Yeah, but it's so big. Like it's so big. Yeah, I got like but a new mold still doesn't change how big the thing is. Like that's what people don't realize. Like you have to walk around it. Like you how do you like trying to think out? Like you build your diorama, you build your room around the flag. Okay, you don't have to do that with Castle Grayskull. You're gonna, you know what? If someone's getting the Eternia, you will have to build around it. Okay, so how much would a HasLab flag cost? I would say 800. And the reason why I say 800, and this, if you guys want, go back and I did a video a few months ago about what should be the next O-ring HasLab. And I said it should be a destroyer. So if you have so you're giving someone a water vehicle, a big water boat. If someone has a flag, they can put it with it. You make it so it has a spot to land a helicopter, and you're giving us something new, and you're giving people a boat, but you could do it where it's as big as the sail barge. I think they could do a HasLab flag for roughly $800. But what would be the minimum quantity that you would have to order? What's going to come with it? The one thing that on the Full Force, not Chris, Pat was saying, and I never really thought about this, is he said that it would have to be bigger than the original because no one's going to want to buy it if it's not bigger than the original. So it had to be at least 8 feet long. You'd also have to make it higher so you could have storage underneath it. That's the other thing that people don't realize is there's really that you could store stuff and just kind of throw it, but there was no way to like play underneath it. So I did a video. You can watch the video of how to raise the USS flag, because one of the issues, you see people that raised it, but no one ever talks and shows how to do it. So I raised mine 6 inches using 2x6s, and it adds all kinds of space. I put lights underneath it. But you just got to think about how high it would be. It's a lot of big plastic pieces. So like when you're looking at the decks, it wouldn't be all integrated. There just wouldn't be so much. So I think you keep it down to 800. So let's see, blue here. Sky Striker sells for $250. Yeah, the old Sky Striker sells on eBay for $250. Got the HasLab with figures for $250. Yeah, that's why it was a good deal. Matter of fact, I was in my toy store today. They have one in a box. It's opened. It's missing the parachutes, and he's got it for $350. And it's, one of the reasons why I wanted multiple HasLab Sky Strikers, I didn't get multiple because I had that much money, was I wanted to place F-14s on the flag with the wings closed. That's always been the big gripe of mine. Yes. And here's the other thing about the space for the flag. And this is just me. I've seen other people. But if you're an actual G.I. Joe collector, you're not just someone who wanted to have a flag to say you have it. You don't want it against the wall because then you can't see inside the superstructure. You want to see like where where keel hall is going to be, and where you put your dial tone and your other figures. So it has to be where you can walk around it for the most part. Mine's pushed up against the wall, like where you would land, right? But yeah, people don't realize that, and at least for me, like I want to be able to see it. And I did see someone mention. I know a lot of people want the whale. I think you'd be looking at a 1/18th scale, 1/18th scale killer whale, probably for 450, 500. And the reason why is when you look at what was the sail barge, it'd be smaller than the sail barge. Be smaller than the sail barge. I know a lot of people want the killer whale. I have one that is almost complete. It's missing one piece on the back, and I got lucky. I got lucky that I bought it off a friend about 7 years ago. I bought a huge lot for $275, and back then everything was worth about $1,000. I think it's worth even more now, and it's a mint. And that's not even including the figures. I got a version 2 Snake Eyes that I sold for $100 because I already had one. So I sold one for $100 like last year because I had two. But yeah, let's see here. But the Sky Striker, it should be coming by the end of the month. Who here has ordered the Sky Striker? Because I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to review that damn thing, because it's big. It has lots of figures, but I'm definitely going to be comparing it to the vintage Sky Striker and the 25th anniversary Sky Striker. So I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. Though I did. Have you guys? I should have. I guess I should have. Oh, whoa, wait. No. I'm talking about O-ring. No. I'm talking about O-ring. Yes. No, an O-ring. Yeah. If you want it classified, classified. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. I'm talking O-ring, flag, and whale would be that cost. Classified, no way. I would say you'd be spending probably $800 on a classified whale, and I think it could be done just for the fact that it can hold so many figures. But I don't. Who can afford $800? I mean, I know a lot of people bought those His tanks. I think it's absolutely crazy that people were buying 5 and even more than that. But I think one of the issues you can get away with the hovercraft because it can go on land and water. The Moray is a solely water vehicle, which means you have to have a water Joe vehicle. So it'd be easier to do a classified whale and then just do a classified water moccasin. Ooh, really? All right, wait. We got to talk about this here. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry about that there. Where was it? Moray floated good. Listen, there are two things that floated for G.I. Joe in the classic line: the hovercraft, the whale, and the APC. Everything else sank faster than the Titanic. I don't know. What did you put that thing on? Because I tell you what, my Moray, which I still have, believe it or not, crazy. That thing would have sank faster than if I threw the damn flag in a pool. Same with the shark, which it did this. The devilfish, floated for a bit, but as soon as it got a little bit of water in, boom. Same with the night landing, did the exact same thing. The water moccasin, as soon as some water went over a little bit, that thing was just going down. Thing was just going down. But the Moray was awful because of how the skiffs were on the bottom. that thing just took in water. Um, I put the APC and just that thing was never going to sink. Same with the hovercraft. That thing, those things would have never, ever sank. Um, it did. It floated long enough to turn your back and then see it sinking. So and these are ones like that should have floated. Like the night landing, there's no reason why it shouldn't have floated. That could have been one solid piece, and it just what was it? Yeah, the Eternia did come out to be 800 altogether. Yeah, that's another space killer right there. That's like those things are huge. I mean, I don't know. I think it's cool. I wish. Cobra Battle Barge. Is that like 3-person thing? Like the 3-person thing that just kind of like just floated around. I have one, but I didn't have it when I was a kid. I somehow acquired it through other means as an adult. And it's not complete at all. Yeah, so I don't know. Okay. Are you talking about the one that the 1/6 raft floated? So yeah, I think you're talking about one that that Desert Rat I think constantly talks about how he wants. Yeah, so. So wait, you got an Eternia. So I think you're the lone person that's ever been in the chat that ordered an Eternia. Where are you gonna put that? Because you gotta have like a. Do you have a YouTube or Instagram? Because I definitely want to see. I can't wait to see how those get. Even though I didn't order it, and I am all in on Motu Origins for the most part, I just couldn't. Like there was no way. The APC. I mean, they could do that as a classified, but it's a very boring vehicle. The APC was awesome because it countered as the carrier. Of course, all the figures just fell to the front. So it looks like we're starting to lose some viewers here. We're down to 20. Please tell me everyone hit that like button. Push this out. I mean, we were up to at least 32 different viewers at once. So I was very, very happy, especially considering there wasn't a lot to talk about. But as you guys got to hear my rambling, who was I think it was Pure Flack Monkey here, who made a comment about his rambling. Listen, if you're here, you've seen the channel, you see my reviews, you've probably been on these live streams. You know that I'm going to ramble on about stuff. But hopefully next week there's some other stuff. The Master Versal, he's just sitting here. This guy's probably getting already doing. Listen, check out this guy's videos. Honestly, they are definitely entertaining. I don't want to criticize. I don't want to say something and him be like, hey, but it is, it's definitely, it's fun. It's a fun channel. Everything is in character. I think it takes, you are committed. So check him out. Even if you're not a Masterverse, I think you'll get some entertainment out of it. Listen, I wanted a Dragonfly before the hiss. I did a whole video on it. That's what I thought it was going to be. If you listen at the end, I thought they were actually the propellers going, not the treads. Everyone said they were the treads. I did a whole video on it. Lenny even liked it. Yeah. What is this? Ramble away. It's fun to group chat live. That's when so I feel like if we get some good, just get some good topics. We kind of stay on it. Let you guys ramble. Again, I'm on the chats on, the full force. Matthew is with me. There's a few other people, and we'll go back and forth. And Chris does the same thing. He hits something and he'll read it and he'll go, oh, hey. Oh, hey. So Ashton, I'm going to, Hilmura. Hi, I'm new to the channel. I subscribed a few days ago. Haven't watched anything or much yet. Well, what are you waiting for? Are you trying to say you have a life that you don't have time to sit down and watch my 300 and some videos? Thank you. Honestly, thank you. I appreciate it. If you're like us, a toy collector, you like hearing rambling, you'll probably enjoy the live chats every Monday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I will be on here. So we're going to keep it going. Well, we're going to keep the lives at 9 going. I don't think we're going to keep this going that long because it's already been at 2 hours and 10 minutes. And some of you, like Matthew, I believe, have found a way to stay the whole time. And, Masterverse was here earlier. I listen. Great channel, great reviews, great community, and great opinions. I respect. Thank you. We all don't have to agree. As long as we can communicate nicely. And I apologize, guys. I just don't want to hit anymore. Listen, we can disagree. We can have our own opinions, but in the end, we're toy collectors. We're all here for one reason. Maybe some of us like G.I. Joe, Masterverse obviously here. He's definitely, Masterverse. And again, you will like this stuff. Thank you kindly, sir. Yes, to do my best in these troubled times, shall we say. Some may not get the comedy at all, but no, it's all good. I try to create a chuckle or two when I can. You do like your stuff. I went to your channel after last Monday, and I gotta work. Did I have to? Actually, I didn't. Yeah, I gotta work in the morning. I can't remember if I had to work last week. So I watched a little bit, and at first I wasn't sure. I'm like, is this just one video? And as we kept going on and on, it was just like I'm like, this guy's a character. Like, he has created a character as he's doing his review. So I check out Masterverse. I think you would definitely enjoy it. Listen, I guess G.I. Joe, Valaverse, Motu. It seems like a lot of the talk here is going to be G.I. Joe and Valaverse, Gargoyles, when there is gargoyle stuff. And we're going to hit topics, any of the hot topics. But yeah, if you scroll through the videos, you will see, I recently, I got some Gridiron stuff for the first time. Because so many people ask me about the Gridiron. If you guys didn't know, that's the reason why I did the Gridiron. I finally ordered the stuff on Christmas while I was sick. But yeah, I ordered that, so now I can have an honest opinion on what I think about Gridiron stuff. And then, like I said, Gregory's going to be getting, I think he said 3 loadouts that he's going to let me review. So I'll be reviewing those. So I hope you got some figures that I can throw them on. Classified figure of the year, Sergeant Slaughter. Only G.I. Joe that's better than Valaverse. Oof. Ooh, are you looking at the same? Are you looking at the same G.I. Joes that we are? Again, we can all have different opinions, but yeah, that Sergeant Slaughter wouldn't even make top 10 list. Although he does look better than, he definitely does look better than the Valaverse, in my opinion. I know I didn't do a review on him before he was even out and tell you who's a better value while I'm holding my own figure from Valaverse, but yeah. So let's see. Action Force are cool and all, but Hasbro is nailing with. Okay, so this is what I gotta say. I had discussions with people, and they turn into arguments. that people told me, you're just used to Hasbro. That's why you're saying that. I thought the first Valaverse head sculpts, although the head sculpts looked nice, they had too much paint on them. They were glossy, and I hated them. The Condor and Bone Collector, they had too much gloss on them. That blowback figure, that head sculpt is awesome. The fade in his back looks absolutely amazing. The face sculpt, they've toned down on on the paint, but so many of the Valaverse figures are just they're this. You either get a white guy or a black guy. Well, you get both actually. That's but some of them look really good. Outback, this is the best face sculpt that I've ever seen Hasbro do out of anyone they've ever done. And I don't think the pictures of the regular Outback look nearly as good as Old Man Outback. It's just something about that color. I mean, the face sculpt is wonderful, but everything, it's awesome. Yeah, the Valaverse weapons are great. They give you the best bang for your buck for what you're getting. So, John, I agree with you completely on that. Yes, he's the only name figure that interests me. Otherwise, just for him all day. Yeah, again, I think a lot of the things with the Valaverse is just getting. No one knows the lore of it. Like, there's no lore. Like G.I. Joe, we all know. I can't say we all do, because there were a lot of people that thought that, Classified was copying Zarana, was a copycat of Pandora, which I still hope that was just a joke by dumb people. But so anyway, yeah, we've gone on for almost 2 hours and 20 minutes, and didn't even have, and we barely even touched the topic, but I wanted to talk about like people's collection. So anyway, I think we got to call it a day. I don't have much coming up for this week. I might be getting a Motu figure, but then again, when you say that, who knows? We all of a sudden get hit, and then you start seeing all kinds of videos. But if you don't see any videos from me the rest of the week, next week, next Monday, 9 p.m., we'll be back for another 2 hours, I'm assuming. Let's see. Ashton's new here. Let's hear what he has to say here. I would get a Valaverse Action Force first over G.I. Joe Classified, because Action Force has connection to something compared to G.I. Joe Classified. Okay, now. What does Action Force have a connection to where G.I. Joe Classified doesn't? I'm just asking. I'm not just because G.I. Joe has all the lore. Action Force and Bobby Vala's Action Force has no connection. I mean, I know he has a comic book. I know that Matthew had pointed out that he has a comic, but I don't read comics. So Joe and Action Force says no, G.I. Joe has so much lore, so I don't know like if I didn't read that right or what. Palatoy background. Hey, Jeremy. I was waiting. Such a bold comment. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Pure Flank didn't get it either. G.I. Joe Classified has connection. Yeah. So I'm not sure like if that was read wrong, or I read it a couple times. Jeremy, I'm glad to see you here, because I know we've talked a few times. I know you posted a couple things, on the G.I. Joe Facebook page of my video. So I definitely appreciate it. I'm glad to see you here. Let's see you chime in a little bit more if you have watched the whole time. And if any of you that watched 2 hours and 20 minutes, you guys, man, you guys are a glutton for punishment. But to sit here and talk for that long and not, well, I guess I can't say get up. Didn't take a bathroom break, but you do. Like, you know what? You do a really good job with your Facebook group page. And I don't want to murder it. Say what it is in here. I'm sure mostly everyone is part of it. I'm sure everyone is part of it, but there's so many different classified ones. But yeah, you do a good job, and you keep the BS out of it. I know I've had to do it on, and I have a much smaller, the Facebook group page I have is much smaller than what than what you got going on here. So, but anyway, everyone here, hit the like button because I want to see when I get out of here and go on my phone, see how many likes we have, screenshot it so I can remember, so we can try and break that next week. Maybe we'll have something to talk about. If not, hey, we will just ramble on. So, but I'm gonna get out of here. I'm not sure how much longer the chat will go on. You guys can chat all you want. I need to get something else to drink and start getting ready for bed because I gotta wake up early again because my kid goes back to school, which means now I have to wake up early. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys have a wonderful night. Again, we watched the viewerships. We had like 32 viewers, so thank you to every single one. Super chats, thank you. I appreciate it. It all is going to go. 36 likes, Matthew is saying. Wow. You know what? That is absolutely awesome. Dude, that, like, seriously, like that, I got to figure out how to do a gray stream. That I think you meant great stream. It's gray. That'd be kind of sad. So Master Versa, what time is it right? What time is it where you're at right now? See, this is what happens. I just keep talking. And so what time is it where you're at? Because I know you're no longer. I love having guys. I mean, it's awesome to have people on the other side, on the other side of the country, but have other people on 37 now. Look at that. This is awesome. Like, hey, I feel like it is 5:23 p.m. All right, so when we started, it was 3 o'clock for you. So yeah, you have time to put on your costume and everything. I hope you're not sitting in your costume the whole time. That'd be crazy. That thing looks hot. But yeah. So anyway, I again, me just repeating what I'm saying. Thank you guys. To see 37 likes in just, I think what we started doing this just over a month ago, a month and a half ago. So we're going in the right direction and it's just going to grow. And you guys are all, you guys are all part of it. I mean, it may be technically my channel, but my channel would be nothing without you guys and the way everyone has helped me grow. I love it, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate every single one of you. I'm going to keep rambling on, so I'm going to get the hell out of here because no other live stream seems to go this long. But anyway, Ashton, I hope you come back. I hope you come back for next week. Again, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. We will be here. Pure Flak Monkey. It is 36 degrees here, but it's a balming 36. What is this? Tube Top shows up right at the end here. Thank you for all your efforts. Hey, you know what? You're welcome. It's YouTube. Doing YouTube is work. Even the little that I do into it, the way I throw everything. But I enjoy it. But listen, hearing anyone say thank you. When people post a comment saying, hey, you know what, thanks for being honest, it means more than I can really explain to you guys. So, all right, this time I'm really getting out of here because it's 11:25 and there's no more to talk about. So anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Have a wonderful day. Well, have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful tomorrow. Happy toy hunting. Hopefully everyone gets Bazooka because damn it, I can't find Bazooka yet, and it's driving me nuts. All right, we're out of here. Have a wonderful night.